Good morning, everybody. This is your host, Jason Allen, with today's Traders Daily Discipline. Once again, it is 29 July, actually Tuesday, the 29th July. I hope you had a great start to the week. I've got a little pearl of wisdom for you this morning, and let's go ahead and get started. I learned early that sometimes you have to dig through garbage to get anywhere, and that is from Michael Haney, uh, award-winning author, columnist. Wrote the book After Visiting Friends. I think he won a Pulitzer Prize for that. Co-editor at GQ magazine. Very good-looking man. Um, I don't know much about his life or career other than this quote, and I have to tell you, probably the single biggest problem, one of the single biggest problems. I think you hear me say this every day, right? Single biggest thing we got going for us or against us, whatever. But one of the bigger problems, let's say, and in some cases it's right at the top for a lot of traders, is the issue of what is it out there that's really going to help us. Um, I stopped counting when I did my first trade in futures when I was still really young, uh, in my 20s. And, when I did that trade in 1986, there was really virtually nothing. I mean, there were little things here and there that you could buy or learn or glean from people, but not like today. I stopped counting at about 60 grand. I probably spent well over $100,000 during my early years on stuff you could get for free over the web today. It's absolutely amazing what you can get over the web for free that purports to help you learn how to trade. Now, maybe your experience has been a little bit different, but my experience, almost all of what I studied as a young trader for those formative years. In fact, if you want to read the story, it's in my second book, The Art of the Trade. Um, if you really want to understand what the pain and suffering, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. The pain and suffering I went through trying to do two things when I got into this business full time, and that was learn how to trade and at the same time build a client base and do all that while working in an industry that was basically a bunch of 5-year olds with a checkbook. Just an amazingly difficult thing for me. But anyway, what I learned is that most of what I was exposed to in terms of education or training or learning about getting positioned properly, learning to buy the market, learning to sell the market, what to look for, how to analyze things of that nature. Most of that, almost all of it, was extremely expensive trash. And when I had my epiphany of understanding, when I learned what I really needed to learn in order to win and could apply that daily for success regularly, I never looked back. But when I had that epiphany, it was life changing. And I took inventory of my educational process and I ended up throwing out almost everything. All the books and charts and details and audio series. I wish I'd never done that because I had invested so much time and money, and I would love to have that as a collection today of reminders what not to do, maybe. But thank God that I did learn what I needed to learn because if I hadn't learned that, I don't know where I would have ended up. But most of us traders, you're going to learn that if you haven't learned it already, that almost everything that you could learn and study that's supposed to help you develop an edge is really just a lot of crap. It doesn't work. It's never worked. It sounds great on paper. It can also be so compelling that you'll spend decades trying to figure it out, never make any money, and never once ask the question, wait a minute, maybe this is crap. Maybe this is all BS. Maybe I should go and talk to a guy who makes money every single week at this and ask what the difference is. You know? That's, I think, the understanding that you need to get through. Like Michael Haney said, I learned early that sometimes you have to dig through garbage to get anywhere. Well, I would present to you, if you don't feel this way yet, you might someday soon, that almost everything you could learn for education, training, teaching, market analysis, market theory, most of it, almost all of it, it really isn't worth your time. But if you don't believe that, that's a different issue. So that's today's daily discipline. I will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.